Hello, hello. How are y'all doing today? Y'all made it back to another episode of therapy. Clap it up for yourselves. You made it back to another episode of my show, the Divine Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Simply Priceless, Nico. And thank y'all for being here. If you here, it's a blessing. We blessed. We blessed in the city and in the field. And being that we are here, that's in and of itself. Amen to that. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. We are figuring things out as we go. I am indeed figuring things out as I go as well. But I'm grateful to be here. And it's pretty neat to be this far into this. It's pretty neat to be this far into a podcast. I'm growing up watching podcasts my whole life. And large part of my life. And to be doing one and to be consistently doing it, no matter who's watching, I'm in the midst of the literal story. People be wondering, like, where am I at? I'm in the middle. I'm in the I'm smack dab in the middle of whatever is being written or whatever is, happening. And so I'm grateful that y'all are here. I'm grateful myself. I'm proud of myself. I think if at this time and in this world and in this at this time right now, if you going for something right now, if you going for some type of dream, or you got something that you're interested in doing, kudos to y'all. Kudos to everybody that's out here trying to get money and that's trying to make something happen and that's following some type of dream. I think that's great. And I think it's really give yourself more credit. Give yourself more credit. I think if anybody is going for anything right now, give yourself credit because credit is due. Especially since we give so much credit and time and attention praising everybody else for everything that they do. I feel like if you're doing something right now and it's not necessarily a requirement and it's not necessarily something that you're getting paid for, or it's a dream, or it's a passion, or it's just showing up, kudos to you. Because it takes, it takes, it takes to show up. And it's not always easy. But that's why I said if you are going for something right now, or if you're in the process of trying to get something started, or maybe you filming episode 5, or maybe you got practice for something, like kudos to the dream chasers and the go getters. Shout out to all of us, especially people that's really doing it without instructions and doing it not knowing how it's gonna play out or what people gonna think or how it's gonna go. So I hope everybody is doing well. What a time! What a time! What a time! I've been getting requests to start, and I'm starting to get requests, music suggestions. I'm starting to get requests. I'm starting to get people wanting me to talk about specific things. And I am curious as to some things that y'all might like me to talk about because I think it is pretty open. I'm open to suggestions, but I'm starting to get commentary and I'm starting to get people to literally ask me about certain topics or to cover certain things. And I think it was the last episode 34 or 33, where hmm, I talked about advocacy. I think it was. And I, hmm, I don't feel like I don't feel like we do necessarily enough advocating for those who need to be advocated for. Not sure necessarily where I'm going with this. We're going to flow together. I feel like right now, if you have, I feel like right now, if you have a platform, you need to be advocating for people. You need to be showing up for your people. You need to be doing what you can to, I feel like, leave some type of mark, some type, like, that's just me. Because everybody is not trying to do something that's going to last 50, however many, 11 years. And it's not my place to judge. I'm not trying to, whatever. But I feel like I talked about that in one of my episodes, advocacy. And I talk about standing up for people who are genuinely in need of support right now. I don't feel like we doing enough of it. And I wonder what it's going to take for people to realize that if we don't start advocating for people, just because something is not necessary, just because something is not happening to you, does not mean that it does not affect you. And I didn't necessarily mean to jump into talking about advocacy, but I really feel like we need more of it. And I feel like we need to be finding ways to really come together. I feel like it's at the point of, I feel like we need to gain a sense of direction. Because right now, I feel like we need to maybe start kicking up the therapy. I feel like we need to be becoming a bit more self aware. I feel like right now, I feel like we need to just be doing work on ourselves. And I'm not sure what type of work everybody needs to be doing on themselves, but I know for sure that I'm needing to continuously, I'm having to really self analyze and I'm having to really sit and really just think about how I show up. And I'm having to really just process. I don't feel like it's enough processing going on. I feel like we need to be working on the things that are not financial. Because yeah, this country right now, finances are very important. Money is very important. We all know that. We need money. We all are, everybody needs money. Everybody needs money. And I get that. But it's money that's being made and it's money that's being spent. And we dealing with a lot of the same things. And for me personally, I'm moneyed out. I'm tired of talking about it. And I feel like we not advocating for each other. We not advocating for the right things. But I feel like we not working on ourselves. Me personally, I'm having to figure out what it is to really hold myself accountable and what it is to really take a look at my own self and say, okay, well, you probably wasn't 100% right for real. You probably didn't. I don't feel like, I feel like we pointing a lot of blame at a lot of other things and not looking enough at ourselves. And I always am going to have to, I'm going to always have to, I'm going to have to learn the lesson and I'm going to have to get the information from somewhere in order to even present it. So I gotta be transparent. And I feel like right now we need to be working on the relationships we have with ourselves. I don't feel like we have, I don't know if we're having, I don't know if we have the best relationships with ourselves. And I feel, I feel as though I feel like we need to be holding ourselves more accountable and we need to be forgiving ourselves far more. I feel like it's easier to hold ourselves mentally. It's like we hold ourselves mentally underwater. Like, I'm finally making peace with stuff that I did not full realize where I was wrong at. Or I'm beginning now to make peace with stuff that either I can't change, I can't fix, I can't undo, I can't solve, I can't make sense of, I can't full understand. Life is such a funny thing because it's like no matter how much you think you know, you don't. And no matter how much you think, how knowledgeable you think you are always following on to know. And I know for sure that I don't know everything. I know for sure that it's more of me that I need to work on than I have really even acknowledged before recently. It's more of me than I need to work on than I have even accepted. And I think accountability, we got to work on, I feel like, the relationships we got with ourselves, and we got to work on, I feel like, holding ourselves more accountable. But we also have to work on the forgiveness aspect because I think in my own experience and in anybody's experience, it's always going to be, I feel like it's always going to be something you're going to have to forgive yourself for. Or forgiveness is going to be something that you have to exercise. And I feel like me personally, it's like, dang, I think we got to learn how to forgive ourselves because you genuinely don't know until you know. It's not until you know. It's not until, it's not, it's not until you genuinely know. It's not until you genuinely know that you know. And I think the tough part in accountability or in forgiveness is the maybe, I mean, it's depending on what it is about or whatever. Forgiveness of a person is easier than it could be easier to forgive a person than it can be to forgive yourself. And for me, that's where that grace gotta come in. That's where that grace gotta come in. I know in sitting in therapy last week and finally getting back in therapy after like weeks, maybe like however long, and just dealing with um what was I about to say? Getting therapy and really sitting and analyzing and like processing through stuff, I'm realizing that I need to forgive myself more for what I didn't understand. And I need to forgive myself more for what I need to forgive myself more. I think we be handing out forgiveness so freely and we hand out grace so freely, even if it's grace in the form of like, okay, I'm not gonna pop off, but we pop off on ourselves or we judge ourselves or we critique or we beat ourselves up. And I feel like it has to get to a point or a place where you learn to forgive others, but you learn to forgive you because we give it out so free. Forgiveness, even if it's in the form of saying, okay, I'm not gonna get my get back, I'm gonna let something ride. But we beat ourselves up and we beat ourselves up and we make ourselves just we cut into our own selves and we freely forgive other people. And I'm just tired of living like that. I'm tired of living like that. I'm tired of being so able to so freely forgive everybody else and let people have grace and let people go free and let people just get off and me continuously beat me up for the things that I didn't understand about myself or the things that I didn't know or the things that I really wish that if my mind would have been in a different place or if I could have seen something from a different vantage point or if I could have recognized the pattern or if I could have recognized where I was or if I could have seen a little bit clearer. Like, I feel like, but that's where the forgiveness got to come in at. Because it's like, no matter how many times you analyze or overanalyze or reverse engineer or try to figure out what did I do in this situation and how was I right or how was I wrong, you can spend your whole life, you spend years thinking that you knew everything. And in an instant, you find out, oh, wait, I was wrong all this time. Forgiveness, forgiveness take real practice, but I think we need to be more forgiving to ourselves because we cut away at ourselves and we scream at ourselves and we beat ourselves up when the whole time we having the same human experience as somebody else and we so freely and so quickly forgive and give grace and give love and give all of these things to people, but we struggle and don't give it to us. I think we need to stop that. And I don't think God wants that for us. And I know that for as forgiving as I have been, I know I need to forgive myself more. I know I need to give myself more love. I know I need to give myself more grace. And I feel like we all do. And I also feel like we need to work on change behavior. Forgiveness is one thing, but change behavior is another. And I feel like change behavior is, man, hmm. I feel like we need to be changing our behaviors. But we really do got to forgive ourselves more. We really have to forgive ourselves more. We really have to forgive ourselves more. We got to forgive people more. I think we got to just let love in more. And I think that's really just what forgiveness is. Is maybe letting out the negative, letting out the hatred, or letting out the pain, swapping it out. You might have to, you got to forgive you even if, forgive yourself. That's really, it's like, because no matter what, I just spent a long, long, long time wishing I could rework stuff or say stuff different or a different outcome or a different whatever, but you can't because it ain't always wanting life to stop because you want something to end. or because you want something to hurry up. It ain't always, sometimes it's like life is really a doozy because sometimes it's really just like, dang, I just want to stop and like undo some steps and like go back and maybe say this different or express this in a different way. But you can't do that. And sometimes you say stuff or you do stuff or people do stuff to you, and ultimately that forgiving yourself thing, because it's like it's always gonna be something I feel like external you gotta forgive. Like people always going, some chances are there will be a person that you'll have to forgive tomorrow. But I think the person and the people that we need to forgive the most, more often, is ourselves. Is ourselves. Because you genuinely, you don't know until you do. And I think the hardest thing about, the hardest thing about, I think the hardest thing about forgiveness is just acceptance. Am I saying that right? Well, yeah. And I think in terms of forgiving yourself, sometimes that's literally all you can do. You could be wrong. And 10 times out of 10, even whether you're wrong or no matter to what degree or to what capacity, you can't beat yourself up over something that you can't change, that you didn't know, or that you just, a person that you were, that you aren't no more, or a situation that just could have played out completely different. I think we got to forgive ourselves more so we can give ourselves more freedom. I think we need to liberate ourselves. And it's not just forgiving ourselves, and it's forgiving others. But it's just, I think we all got to accept the fact that we are having human experiences. We are having human experiences, right? So if we are having human experiences, then it's no way in the world that we should be beating ourselves up like this then all the time. There's no way in the world that if we are having a human experience that we should be so judgmental and so angry. Cause I'm gonna tell you, the one thing that I know for sure that comes with unforgiveness is anger. And I think I am at the point and at the literal capacity of, dang, I'm tired of being angry for real. Like it just gets, it gets to the point in a place where, okay, either you want to live and be angry and be bitter, or you actually want to grow and evolve past whatever it is that happened, or past whatever it is that has been, whatever it is. I'm just at the place and at the point of needing and working on forgiving myself more. And that's the truth, Ruth. I feel like everybody is figuring it out. Everybody is figuring out this life stuff. Don't nobody know for sure. And that's another reason. That's another reason why we need to be forgiving ourselves more, because nobody truly fully knows exactly how to do this stuff. Not everybody knows. No one really knows. And I think, I don't know, we just need to be giving ourselves more grace, forgiving ourselves, and give ourselves the love that we so freely give other people. Because I don't think it's a love shortage. I just feel like we not giving it to where it's supposed to go ourselves. I don't feel like it's a shortage of anything. I just feel like we not necessarily giving the stuff out, or giving we're not giving it to ourselves. Are we giving it to the wrong things? I feel like if we forgave ourselves more, we would be more kind to ourselves. I feel like we need to definitely be exercising more forgiveness to ourselves. Why are we giving out love so freely, and giving out grace, and giving out mercy, and negative talking to ourselves, beating ourselves up, replaying situations over and over and over, when it's nothing that you could do different, and it's nothing that you can change? And I also feel like I'm at the point of realizing, okay, so maybe this did not go the way that it could have gone. And maybe this did not happen. And maybe I was not right after all this time. I can then take that information, and I could take that into another relationship. I could take that information, really take the lesson out the situation. Once you get to the point and place where you really want to grow, and you start to really wonder and really sit and look at yourself. And I've sat and looked at myself, and I see certain things now that I didn't see before, that I didn't understand before. Ways that I really thought, okay, yeah, girl, no. Whole time I was wrong. Whole time I didn't know what I was talking about. Whole time I'm having now to make peace with stuff. And a lot of things, I feel like you're gonna have to continuously make peace with stuff, because life is gonna keep life. But I feel for sure that I am growing, and I feel like I'm always gonna be growing. But I feel like the growth comes when you can look at what happened, and you can take the situation and take where you were wrong at, and really sit with that and deal with that, and then take whatever you know you should have did different, and take that with you into the next relationship, or into the next phase of life, or whatever. I have I've quite I have acquired a few lessons for sure, but that's where that forgiveness gotta come in, because it's like, again, you can't change it. You didn't know. Even if you did know, you still can't change it. So I would say forgive others, but forgive you, because you human just like everybody else. Because don't nobody full know what they doing here. Nobody has everything figured out. Nobody has all the answers. Everybody is literally trying to figure out how to have their own unique human experience, and their own. We all here trying to figure out very similar lessons, just different, very similar, if not the same lessons. But forgive yourself more. Because even if you could have did differently, you didn't. And even if you could, even, you, it can't be undone. And it's like, you can't spend the rest of your life mad or hurting or frustrated or angry, beating yourself up or talking down on yourself or talking down about yourself. Forgiveness just gotta be, it's just gotta, we just gotta do it more. We gotta forgive ourselves. So forgive others, but forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Because can't nobody forgive you for you. If I'm saying that correctly. And it's just remember too that it's okay to make mistakes. It sounds very cliche, but it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay not to know. It's okay to have messed up. It's okay to have said the wrong thing. It may not be okay. It may not be okay, but it's okay and things happen. And it's okay that mistakes have been made. It's okay that you ain't say the right thing. It may not be okay, but it's okay. Meaning, give yourself grace because we all have our own unique human experience. And you're not perfect. You're just not. And you don't want to be because who really wants to be? Everybody literally makes mistakes. Everybody messes up. Everybody has regrets. Everybody has to sometimes really look at themselves and ask themselves questions and like change behavior. But don't beat yourself up. Don't critique or crucify yourself because of what you didn't know. Or if you learned the lesson, take the lesson. But don't beat yourself up for the next 6 months or the next year or the next 2 days. People mess up. People gonna mess up. That's one of the one things that everybody gonna comment. Everybody gotta make mistakes. Everybody makes them. Everybody's going to make them. But forgive yourself for the stuff, whether it was a mistake or whether it was something that in your mind you was genuinely thought you was right. You genuinely thought whatever it is for whatever it is, because I personally don't feel like God want us to be miserable. He don't want us to be angry at ourselves or talking to ourselves in a negative, nasty way because of something that we said to somebody or something that we did where we just wasn't in our right frame of mind or we just didn't know no better or we just really could have did or maneuvered different. So that's how I feel about that. And I feel too, you don't need to spend the rest of your life beating yourself up over something that you can't change, something that you genuinely just didn't know no better. People holding on and carrying on to stuff that don't have nothing to do with where they going. People are hurting over things that they can't undo or things that they should not have said or wish they could have said different or wish the outcome would have been different. That's all right. From the perspective of you ain't the only one. It ain't gonna be the last time. It may not be the last time. It may not be whatever, but it's it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay because we all having our own unique human experience. And I feel like again, if it's easy for you to forgive others and to give grace to other people, I really think we need to start giving this ourselves. And I really think we need to stop talking to ourselves in such a negative way because and we talk so bad and are judgmental to ourselves and what we think. I feel, but that's my spell on that. Don't beat yourself up over what you genuinely can't do anything about, or a version of you. A lot of us is grieving the loss. We're grieving, like, we're just grieving over stuff that we've done or stuff that we feel like we want to undo. Don't beat yourself up and don't live the rest of your life kicking yourself up and down and all around over something or something that you said or an experience, because the only person that's really in your head is you. And the only person that I feel like God really don't want us to be miserable, and He really don't want us just beating ourselves up and holding days or months or years of things over our own heads for the sake of. So forgive yourself quicker than you forgive others. Because we so quick to do stuff for other people, but we don't be doing it for ourselves, and that's crazy. Forgive you. Love on you the way that you be loving on everybody else, but love on you more. Forgive yourself more. That's how I feel about that. I hope everybody doing good. I hope everybody is keeping themselves and I hope everybody keeping themselves grounded and that y'all praying and meditating and that y'all forgiving yourselves, because we really need to be. So I'm grateful. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for following along. This is fun. It's been fun. I've been growing. I've been learning lessons myself while I'm teaching y'all. Thank y'all for being here, for showing up, and for riding with me, for listening to my short stories. Um, Forgive yourselves though, for real, cause don't beat yourself up over being a human being, cause that's kind of crazy. Cause we literally are all human beings trying to navigate through the same thing. So I love y'all. I hope everybody doing good. I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope that something that I said helped. Thank y'all for coming back and for following along and supporting me through and through. Uh, I love y'all very much. Thank y'all so much. And I'll talk to y'all soon. This has been another episode of the Divine Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Nico, Simply Priceless on Instagram. And thank y'all so much for being here. I guess I'll catch y'all next week. Okay. Okay, bye, y'all.